These days, there is science everywhere in cannabis, but how much of it really applies to your grow? Come on, let's get into it. But before we do, today's video is brought to you by Real Grow Lab. If you want to connect with the best growers from all over the world, get tips and tricks on how to grow the dankest plants possible, and not have to worry about the censorship we get from YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Go check out realgrowlab.com. Get all kinds of great grow talk Q&A. Plus, see all the stuff YouTube won't let me show you in these videos. Sign up and join our growing community over at realgrowlab.com. Or download the app at the Apple or Android App Store. Now let's get back to today's video. Come on, Hassi, you want to trust the science?
I try to normally.
I trust science, man. I do. It's got to be good science.
I trust the scientific method.
Ah, there you go. Okay. There you go.
But it does seem like science is actually making its way into the cannabis world. It seems like growing up, it was not allowed to even be studied, but now they're allowing it.
Yes. Yeah. Now universities, I shout out to Dr. Bugbee. He's over in Utah, and he's able to study, I think it's just CBD now, but they're studying cannabis. They're able to use their mass spectrometers and all those tools they have to actually get us real answers. So it is very cool.
It is. And I remember growing up, I had to get all of my science about how to grow from my bros, which had some disastrous results sometimes.
Yeah, sure. A lot of times you know what to do, but you don't know why you're doing it. And I mean, I've had people say, hey, spray this stuff on and make your buds rock hard. I don't know if it's poison or not, but you know what I mean? So you had some bad science going on. It was borderline dangerous.
So let's talk about the pros and cons of pro science and bro science, and then maybe we'll touch on how we should apply this knowledge towards the end of the video. But first of all, the pros of pro science people.
All right, the pros, man, this is complex. I don't know if there's a pro or a con, but somebody like Dr. Bugbee has access. He's got real funding, and he has access to real, integrated spheres and mass spectrometers, all this stuff that will give him quantifiable information.
Mm-hmm. And we just did something with some of your plants. You were wondering about a deficiency. Rather than just looking at it and going to a form and trying to guess, you're actually able to ship it off to a lab.
Industrial hemp. That's the secret code, man. Yeah, I shipped it off to a lab anywhere in the nation because industrial hemp is legal. So, yeah, they are starting to catch up, and it's a big deal.
And they were able to, actually look into the tissue of the plant and tell you exactly what there was too much of, not enough of.
The soil, then the roots, and then the tissue. There's several tests that you can get, and each one will tell you something, and it's cool. Look at me. I'm glowing. I love having real information. I'm designing products here.
Yeah, so it is cool that science is coming in, but I do have skepticism because scientists are humans. They're flawed just like the rest of us. And sometimes just blindly trusting the science can lead to disastrous outcomes as well.
A shout out to my mama. My mama told me when I was little, hey, when somebody tells you something, consider their motivations. First thing you should consider is their motivations. So, yeah, I do that, man. And sometimes I see people's motivations might be more in line with money than growing great medicine for me.
Well, there's the old saying, if you're paying for the science, usually you get the science that you're paying for.
Well, it's true. That's absolutely true. Do you think that, whoever is, I'm trying to think of a company, Bayer, if they are paying for something and they're expecting certain results, they do this all the time, and it doesn't work out. They go find somebody else, and they pay somebody else to do it until they find the guy that makes it work out for them, or the person that, hey, we make it work out for you.
Right, and I remember as a kid, the commercials, 9 out of 10 doctors recommend this cigarette.
Yeah, cigarettes. Yes, exactly. Maybe they gave them a free carton? Lifetime supply. Who knows what the motivation is? Hey, I can't help but think of the Monsanto lobbyist. You remember, I don't know if it's 20 years ago or so, there was a Monsanto lobbyist that went up with Roundup. It was having all this, people were getting sick from it. Mm-hmm. And he goes, Roundup is so safe, I would drink this shot glass of it. You could drink this shot glass, he says. And then the congressman goes, well, would you drink it for us, sir? And he goes, no.
Yeah, so science and scientific reports can't always be trusted. And then you mentioned if scientist A doesn't give me the results, I'll go find scientist B.
Sure.
We've talked about the replicability crisis in science.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about this off camera a lot, where we're like, oh, this study came out, and then we'll find that it is who it was funded by, and then I don't know how many. Is it 90% of the studies?
I think it's like a third in the study that they were studying.
Yeah, there's so many where they go, hey, okay, you published this research, you published this report. Now we're going to try to repeat it and make sure that it was done right. They can't repeat them, man.
Only a third of the time.
Yeah, it was like, okay, something like that. Yeah, it's pretty shady. So just understand that science, whether you call it science, it's owned by a business. That business has a financial agenda. So just keep that in mind when you're trusting the science. And one thing to keep in mind, and that is that my tent over here or my grow room right in the garage over there is not the same as their laboratory. Their laboratory, they use actually a lot of times growth chambers. It's this little chamber where they're able to isolate variables, and they got a bunch of them. Come on, that's a lot different than growing in my greenhouse over there or growing in my 8x12 grow room or even this 2x4 tent that is in, whatever climate we're in here. So repeating that kind of stuff there's no wonder that we all can't repeat it because they've got very specific parameters they're testing in.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about bro science.
Sure.
And admit that science has been part of growing. It's not like in a laboratory, but bro growers do conduct science.
Come on. The scientific method, I learned this in the second grade. I did an experiment, and I think it was with an apple or something. And it's you do something to one thing and you leave the other thing alone. It's a variable, what you're changing, and to control what you know to be stable. And then you see the difference between them. You maybe do it a few times to make sure it wasn't a fluke. And that is science. I love that. And whether I'm using a new bloom booster and I use it on just one or two of my plants, or I try a different NPK and put it on one or two of my plants, I make sure it's the same strain. I make sure they're growing right next to each other. I make sure I treated every other thing the same. And there's science to be learned there. I mean, how do you think I had to solve all sorts of issues before I bring my products to market, and I use the scientific method, variable control, to do it.
One other thing to credit about bro science
Sure.
is that bro science is usually done by people who are passionate about growing, whereas pro science is usually done by people who are passionate about theories and science.
Yeah. And if you think about the growers, most of the growers I know really know their cannabis. I mean, they really know the smells and the trichome density and, the shape of the trikes. I mean, they're really into that kind of stuff. A lot of my growers friends have been doing it 10, 20, 30 years. So they have a lot of bro science that has brought them to great quality cannabis, man. And that's really the determining factor at the end.
Okay, so it seems like, for me, the takeaway here is there's room for both bro science and pro science. It's not really like an either or situation.
Well, bro science is, hey, I saw something. I recognized something going on when the air conditioning got stuck to 60. My plants got frostier. And then real science is trying to repeat that and figure out why. Absolutely, there's room for both of them. Just the same thing my mom always told me. Consider the motivations. Consider people's motivations. That's all. And by the way, my motivation is to get y'all growing good quality, great quality cannabis really simply without a whole bunch of gimmicks and hype. That's what I'm up to. Whether you use grow dots and recharge, your own method, I just want you to grow great quality cannabis. Hey, that is just my thoughts on bro science versus pro science. But what about you? What's your opinion? Did we get something wrong? Let us know in the comments. And come on, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video with another grower you know, and check out the other couple videos YouTube's recommended. I think you'll dig them.